Am I the asshole for refusing to help a mom in need? 2 years ago, a struggling mom reached out on a local Facebook group, asking for someone to help her buy Christmas gifts for her daughter. I answered her plea and helped her out. The next year, she had welcomed a second child, had to quit her job to care for her sick mother, and had apparently sold a car so she and her husband could make ends meet. I helped again. After the second Christmas, she sent me a thank you and a friend request, and I accepted. Her profile was full of TikTok posts that detailed her life as a novice influencer. So many videos of her doing designer shopping hauls, displaying expensive nails, and trying out expensive coffee shops and such. So basically, she was struggling because of this. I posted something on Reddit before about this, and people advised me how to proceed. 2 weeks ago, she reached out to me again and asked if I could once more help her buy Christmas gifts for her 2 kids. I didn't answer right away, but I didn't want to ghost her or anything, so I responded and told her, as advised, that I wouldn't be helping her this year. I told her politely that it is clear to me that your inability to afford Christmas gifts for your girls stems from irresponsible financial decisions, not being down on your luck like you've claimed. I apologized and advised her to go shopping at some of the cheaper places I do my shopping at, like Ross, Marshall's, and Burlington. She blew up at me for being so insulting. She called me an asshole for shaming her when she's trying to make a living for her kids by becoming an influencer. She shamed me on the local Facebook group where she originally reached out for help 2 years ago, posting my name and a snapshot of my Facebook profile on there. She threw in some other accusations that I was racist, sexist, and a cruel person. I haven't responded to that yet because I don't know if it's just better to not say anything or to defend myself and expose her. I don't think I'm the asshole here, but some people have said I should be just helped her out again because I have a stable job and she's just a young mom. I disagree. Did I handle it appropriately? Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You are better than me because I would have exposed her right off the bat. I'm petty as fuck though. Woman shrugging, medium light skin tone. Not the asshole. But you should never get advice again from whatever group you posted in that advised you to give such a long explanation to her when you declined. Simply saying no, I won't be able to is enough. I would report her post to the moderator of that Facebook group and ask it to be removed. At minimum, you should let the admin of the local Facebook page, so they can at least stop her from posting about you there. I know our local page admins would block anyone found out to be fraudulently asking for help like this. Not the asshole. You should not have helped last year. I have 3 kids. They have not always gotten everything they would have liked, but at no point did I beg strangers to buy them stuff. There are actual charities out there that she could sign up for. If she doesn't qualify for them, that is probably because she is wasting her money instead of spending it on her kids. So not the asshole. I am so sick and tired of these younger generations thinking being an influencer is a replacement for a job. It can be. I'm not saying that real influencers don't work. But I'm sorry when you can't give your children Christmas because of your influencer spending habits, you're just entitled. It's not your responsibility to provide Christmas for someone else's family because the person who should be providing for her family has been too busy Christmas shopping for herself 365. Not the asshole, she's a selfish, self-centered grifter who you helped 2 years in a row and trying for a third. You didn't shame her, you stated facts, which she did not like. Her reaction to your honesty shows that you hit a nerve. Don't defend yourself. Just respond that if she continues to defame you, then you'll take legal action. Leave it at that. Am I the asshole for ruining my ex-husband's relationship? So my ex and I got divorced because he cheated repeatedly. We have very young kids, so I stupidly forgave him a few times. He also got abusive after the split when I decided to leave. His family supports him as a cheater/abuser. His dad also cheats, and friends ignored the behavior because they didn't want to get involved. Because he cheated often, I had set up accounts to catch him before we split. He has been with his new girl for over a year. About 2 months after we ended, she is nice to my kids, and I can only assume a nice person. But I have seen him cheat on her for this whole time, via the apps. But I had no way of contacting her, I didn't even know her last name. Recently I saw she had viewed my LinkedIn and put the name and job, they worked together to determine it was her. I knew he had lied about why we divorced, and paints me as the bad guy. So I told her the truth about our marriage. But the past was my problem, I only wanted to give context. I also shared with her truth about the past 6 months, and offered screenshots if she wanted. She did want. So I shared. My ex messaged me going nuts, saying it's my fault. I told a friend, who called me in a holy because I should have let her find out on her own. And it wasn't my place. She thinks I only did it out of spite and shouldn't even be bothered with what he does. I am torn. Yes, I may be happy that it all blew up in his face. Karma. But I would have wanted someone to tell me sooner, and I know what it's like to be blindsided by a man who says all the right things. Am I the Aholi for telling her, or was I right to warn her about the man he is? My motto is don't be angry at me for holding you accountable to your actions and behavior. Do I need to be accountable also? Not the asshole. You spared her from more pain. And it's not even theoretical. He was already cheating on her. Why people would protect a guy like that is beyond me. He's made his bed, and he can lie in it alone. He was making a fool of her after you dumped him for doing it to you. She didn't know she was being made a fool. You did her the kindness of looping her into what he was doing. Now you know which friends aren't people you want to be friends with. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She was looking for you the same way you were looking for her apparently. There must be a reason for that. For what it's worth, every bit of effort that saves a woman from a potential abuser is worthwhile. You did her a favor. Not the asshole. But I do think you need to consider how long / if you're going to keep track of him, and then keep telling his partners. All it's going to do is keep you in a high drama situation. Not the asshole, it sounds like you saved that woman a lot of heartache. You should stop following his finances though, for your own peace and closure though. Continuing on will only make you more involved than you should be. Focus instead on making the best environment for your kids and putting your past behind you, Redheart. Not the asshole. If I was her, I would want to know as soon as possible. AITA for not answering the door when my roommate's dad shows up in the morning. My roommate is in their early 30s, but they have overbearing parents who will drop in short notice. Their dad is the main offender. This has happened a few times while my roommate wasn't home, and I've answered the door in most cases. Only time I didn't was when I was exhausted due to medication withdrawal, which they got irritated with me for. The dad hasn't been rude to me per se, but he's always grumpy and kind of passive-aggressive. He seems to get frustrated by me just not knowing where my roommate is at all times. He showed up today at around 10 a.m. and kept ringing the doorbell for maybe 15 malins. My roommate was home this time, but they were irritated with me for not answering because they were out late and too tired to deal with it themselves. I had tried calling to wake them up because all our doors are loud AF, so if I had left my room the dad would have known someone was inside and just not answering. Roommate's phone was dead. I feel like it's not really fair for me to have my mornings randomly interrupted by some cranky boomer just because my roommate isn't communicating with him. I can't tell the dad to fuck off because he's helping with the mortgage while my roommate, who owns the house, is looking for a full-time job. So that's not an option. AITA? Edit. To clarify, I just moved in recently and will be paying rent effective next month after my new job starts. I'll also be covering more than the roommate currently does. This isn't a mooching situation. There are issues with the house that have made it extremely difficult for them to find a tenant, but I agreed to stay because they're allowing me to pause paying until my income starts up again. I'm doing both them and the dad a favor here because some of the house problems could land them in hot water if a tenant were to make a legal complaint. I'm the only way they're getting help with the mortgage anytime soon. And yes, I'm planning on leaving when I can. Final edit. I'm turning notifications for this post off. I think I've pretty much gotten the full spectrum of opinions on this, and I'm tired of answering questions that are already addressed in the OP. I appreciate the folks who actually read before responding. Shine on. Sparkles. Not the asshole. However, with the fact that Rumi is out partying and not getting a job, and their parents are paying the mortgage, I would be looking for a new place to stay. Rumi is irresponsible and conflict avoidant. Therefore, they aren't going to change anytime soon. You blame the boomer dad, but you probably don't know the full extent of the agreement in place. Banging on the door for 15 minutes, Rumi is home and ignoring. I would go open the door and say, they are in their room. No, it is not your job to know where your roommate is. But you withholding information, such as knowing Rumi is there and avoiding, does not help the situation. Not the asshole. He's mad at you because you didn't let his dad in? No problem. He's let you know what he wants for next time. From now on, let his dad in immediately and tell him that friend is in his room. Friend can deal with his dad himself. Also, if you know where friend is when his dad is looking for him, go ahead and tell him where to find him. With luck, you'll never have to deal with his parents ever again. Let him do it. Not the asshole and not your job to deal with his dad. But next time you do encounter his dad and don't know where your roommate is, sir, I know you are looking for him and I don't know where he is. But in the future please note that it's not my job to keep tabs on him and won't always know where he is. Not the asshole, but time to look for a new living situation. This is very strange. Not the asshole, but I don't understand what y'all are doing when he's ringing the doorbell for 15 minutes. You just lay in bed and hope he goes away? You should let him in and show him directly to your roommate's room. If it's their house, you should probably just find another place to live. Not the asshole. Your roommate's dad showing up like he's doing random inspections isn't your responsibility. If your roommate doesn't want to deal with him, that's their problem, not yours. You're not the household receptionist. Am I the asshole for continuing to speak in public when my friend told me not to because it's embarrassing? So to preface this, we're on vacation in Japan, and he's been lecturing me on Japanese culture like he's some sort of guru on their culture. Annoying, but whatever. I don't mind being silent on the trains, etc. But when I try to talk to him at the mall, where everyone talking he tells me to shut up because it's embarrassing for him, and that I'm being too loud. Regular speaking voice, by the way. So am I the asshole? YWBTA if you are a loud American and everyone talks softly. Read the room and adjust to that. Learn myself as a US citizen how freaking loud we come across in other countries. Speaking in public here is fine. However, if you're American, I can guarantee your voice is overly loud. We Americans are friendly, noisy people. Maybe try to lower your voice a little. But your friend is way too sensitive. As long as you don't say something rude or stupid, the Japanese, many of whom understand a lot more than people think, don't care. Just don't talk on your phone in trains, theaters, and restaurants. Not the asshole. It's hard to judge without being there. Americans speak at a much higher volume than people from other countries. What you consider a normal conversation volume counts as shouting in my country and is perceived as a disturbance. So what you consider normal most likely is not normal abroad. Did you adapt your volume to what is culturally acceptable? My best friend is RLY loud sometimes when she thinks she is quiet. She also doesn't have the best hearing, bless her heart. You say you are speaking in a normal voice, but are you sure? Has your friend asked you to speak more quietly? Yes. They are correct about Japanese culture. Regular American conversations are perceived as loud. Being loud in public is also seen as disrespectful. It feels like nails on a chalkboard. Europeans and Australians are just as bad. It is very much about reading the room.